So what if I told you there's a hidden personal key to unlocking your absolute best performance? And no, it's not about more practice. It's not about positive thinking. It's about understanding your unique emotional fingerprint.
I want you to think about it for a second. Right before a big presentation, a huge exam, a championship game, you feel that knot in your stomach. Is that feeling something you need to get rid of? Or could it actually be the very fuel you need to succeed?
For the longest time, performance psychology has been completely dominated by one simple idea. It's a piece of advice you've probably heard a million times from coaches, teachers, you name it. Right? The common wisdom is that to be in the zone, you have to be totally relaxed, almost zen-like, and completely free of stress. Nerves are bad, calm is good. Simple. But what if that's just completely wrong? Well, when researchers actually started digging into the data, they found something pretty fascinating. The idea that there's just one perfect emotional state for everybody, whether that's low, medium, or even high anxiety, it just didn't hold up. The evidence, it really wasn't there. And this is where that old way of thinking really starts to crumble. The data tells a story that turns that whole calm is good idea completely on its head. Okay, just look at this chart. When you ask thousands of athletes about when they perform their absolute best, the results are wild. They're almost perfectly split three ways. About a third do their best with low anxiety, a third with moderate, and, here's the real shocker, a third perform best when their anxiety is high. There is no single right way to feel. And it gets even more personal. It turns out that when athletes use their own words to describe how they feel before a great performance, 80 to 85% of those feelings aren't even on the standard psychological tests. Think about that. Those tests are missing almost the entire picture of what's really going on. So, if the old model is basically broken, what's the answer? Well, it's a revolutionary, totally personalized approach to understanding what makes us tick. It's called the Individual Zones of Optimal Functioning, or IZOF for short. And the core idea is simple but powerful. Every single one of us has a unique emotional sweet spot. It's like a personal fingerprint, a specific mix of feelings and intensities that lets us perform at our peak. It's not about feeling good, it's about feeling the way that is right for you. Let's make this real. Check this out. Researchers looked at the emotional state of a junior international tennis player right before his best ever game and then before his worst ever game. And this just illustrates the point perfectly. Before his best game, yeah, he was highly confident and super determined. But look at his worst game. He was incredibly nervous, and his determination was practically zero. The key wasn't getting rid of nerves. It was about having that right mix of other powerful emotions firing on all cylinders. Okay, so to really get this, we have to stop thinking about emotions as good or bad. We need a totally new map, one that asks a much smarter question. Is this feeling helpful or is it harmful to my performance? This matrix right here is the key to reframing everything. So you see, we've got two axes, pleasant versus unpleasant feelings, and then functional, meaning helpful, versus dysfunctional, meaning harmful. This creates four totally unique quadrants, and this is where the real magic happens. So let's look at that top right box, pleasant but dysfunctional. Think about it. Feeling too satisfied or overly confident can actually make you complacent. You might underestimate your opponent, lose focus, take some careless risks. That good feeling can literally sink your performance. Now, let's go to the bottom left, unpleasant but functional. This is where we find the secret power of so-called bad emotions. Feelings like anxiety or even a bit of anger can be incredibly useful. They generate extra energy, they help you push through when you're tired, and they sharpen your focus when the stakes are high. For some people, these feelings are actually vital tools for success. Okay, so this brings up a huge question. Why? Why is everyone's optimal zone so different? Why does one person thrive on the exact same anxiety that makes another person completely fall apart? Well, the answer lies in how our brains match our internal resources to the world around us. It comes down to something called the resource matching hypothesis. All that means is your perfect emotional state isn't random. It's the precise feeling that helps you match your personal resources, like your skills, your energy, your focus, to what the situation demands. If a task requires a ton of energy, a little bit of anxiety might be exactly what your brain needs to get you there. So here's the billion-dollar question. How do you take this incredible idea and actually use it?
How can you find and then master your own personal performance zone?
You can actually become your own performance coach, and it's a 3-step process. First, identify. I want you to think back to your past wins and losses. What exactly did you feel? Get specific. Were you aggressive, calm, tense, excited? Write it all down. Step 2, predict. Now, before your next big thing, check in with yourself. How are you feeling right now? Compare that to the emotions you just identified from your best performances. Are you in your zone or are you out? And third, the most important part, regulate. The goal is not just to calm down or get rid of nerves. It's to strategically shift your emotional state to get into your zone. For you, that might mean listening to pump-up music to build energy. For someone else, it might mean deep breathing to find focus. It's all about what works for you.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. The greatest performers don't just manage stress. They learn how to harness it. They learn how to turn what everyone else sees as a weakness into their greatest strength.
And remember, this isn't just about sports. We all have these high-stakes moments in our lives. So the question I want to leave you with is, what's your performance superpower? What is the unique emotional zone that allows you to be at your absolute best?